I'll tell you when we are.
Wait, you're not right now? No, that's it. I can't see it. Not worth it. I was gonna tell you to stop being such a that thing I always call you when you're being that thing.
Hey, you're fine. We're live now.
The most important thing is to not care.
Exactly.
It's like I'm gonna talk however I want to talk. Oh, Erica's phone has Erica's hit the bell because as soon as you went live, I heard it. She left her phone here today, and as soon as you hit the bell, like I heard it go. Like she's liked and subscribed. Hit the notification bell. That's a good one. Top tier.
Oh, look at that! All right, we're starting to get some population.
Really? We celebrated our anniversary.
Oh, that's right. Like last week, right?
Yeah, went camping.
Oh yeah, I saw pictures. Look nice, man.
It's nice, man. Yeah. Well, if and when you ever come out here to visit, you got to go camping. It's fucking beautiful. I love it here. Like I get that she's not the biggest fan in the world, but
No, what happened?
Oh, I'll tell you in the show. I'll tell you in the show. Yeah.
So we'll let this populate a little bit. Well, we can get started.
Oh, what is that music? That's sexy as fuck, dude. What is that?
What music?
I hear music. Oh, you know what? I might be. I don't know what that is. Is that the website I'm on?
Well, yeah. What music are you listening to?
I'm on El Trafico radio or whatever they're called.
Oh yeah.
Like the El yeah, my bad. I'm not saying that you guys should go listen to their show instead of ours, but like their opening music is sexy as fuck. That's just an objective fact.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we got to figure out how to bring back our music on here. Our Sami Zayn knockoff music.
Now we were supposed to open with Bobby Roode's "Glorious." That's the theme for today. That was for the LAFC game. First time we beat LAFC.
Well, welcome to the Squadcast. We're here on another night live streaming. Back to live streams. Oh, and Chris is gone already.
Now, I guess. No, I'll be back and turn the lights on. Bro, don't be such an Ed, right?
But yeah, we are live here. If you go to youtube.com/@Squadcast96, you'll be able to populate that. Or if Chris is so obliged, he can tweet out that link right now.
What am I doing?
You want to tweet out the link? Yeah.
For this? Yeah, I'll do it. I got you.
But thank you for joining us. We got the people just sliding into our live Squadcast right now.
It's like a thing now, bro. I like this. I like the live. I like that it's back.
We got Gilbert on the live chat.
Gabonzo, my man. Appreciate you letting me use your Amazon, sir.
But yeah, so Tucker, what's been going on, man? I mean, we'll get to the talk, but we're gonna see how you doing. How's the life of Tucker going?
Tucker's good, bro. I'm running again. I ran 9 miles twice. I'm getting back into that. Work is good. I'm going for some certifications, and I love my car. So those things. Life is okay. Life's good. How are you doing?
Sir, life is going to be great in about a week when I'm done with the semester of schoolwork.
Hey, bro, I remember that. Like you're just crawling to the end. You just got to get to the end, and once you're there, you're like, all right. Everything else can and now the rest of my life can come back. I can be a human being again.
Yeah, I got about 2 months. I got 2 months of no schoolwork and just easy ride with having to deal with summer school. So for my work, not actual summer school I'm going to.
Oh yeah. Well, you stay busy, sir. You're a busy man, and you're doing big things. You're making big changes. So that's always going to be difficult.
Yeah, man. My daughter turns 5 months already tomorrow. It's absolutely insane how fast time goes.
Oh yeah, bro. That's why. So we talked about this when I first decided to go back to school. Like the whole thought process was everyone tells you that it flies by. And everyone tells you that the infant stage of your children's life flies by in an instant. And like you look up and you look back and you're like, damn, I can't believe it's over already. So with that in mind, the idea was like, well, where would you like to be when that time flies by and when it's all done? Like, you want to have done something with it? Yeah, well, then start investing in yourself. And then by the time you look up, things will be different and better, and you'll be in a different, situation. It's essentially it's working in your life. You're right at the end.
But everything's good, man. Life is good. Life is especially good today, Chris.
Life's great. I want to answer a question in the live chat really quick.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Who's asking the question?
Logan Jones. About as you say, we're live again at this thing. Logan Jones in the live chat asked what part of Hawaii we go to because he's going next month. I camped on Oahu on the North Shore, and I go to Maui, but I predominantly go to Maui. Maui's amazing. There is a particular beach I will recommend for you if that's where you're going. That I try to pray at every time I go. It's amazing. Maui's fucking best.
Yeah, I've yet to go. That's one of my go-to destinations for sure.
Yeah, you got to come out with us, man. Be a good time.
That would be fun.
We eat malasadas and drink on the beach.
I don't know.
Watch children play in the water. Malasada? Oh, bro, fucking missing out. It's like a fried donut. It's incredibly soft on the inside.
Say less, sir. Say less.
Yeah. Oh, whenever we go and you can get where you get lilikoi flavoring. They got a little lilikoi in the middle. Made broke the mouth, as Etienne Alessandro would say. Just a fantastic dessert. Top tier dessert.
All right, let's just get into it, man. Everyone knows what we're going to talk about. We want to get into it. Today might go down as one of the best days in Galaxy history. Obviously, after the 5 championships and the CONCACAF Champions Cup and all that. Christopher Tucker, we won.
Somebody's arguing with me on Guessman's Discord and getting ready to fucking completely disregard this show.
Mission accomplished, sir. We need the banner behind us.
Got him.
Yeah, we got him.
Yeah,
Chris Klein has officially been relieved of his presidential duties at the LA Galaxy.
They said, Ed, they literally said it. They said it couldn't happen.
Ding dong.
They said it couldn't be done.
The witch is dead.
Yeah, man. It took. It was a long fight, and it's probably the most. Gosh, as far as not involving a championship, it's probably the most impactful day in the history of the club since its founding. I mean, it's you don't see anything like this, and the fans and the supporters, and it's not just them. It was obviously the results on the field and stuff like that, and kind of the overall direction of the club. But they gave this guy an extension in November. I mean, we as an organization, as a parent organization, they signed up for what he was planning to produce for multiple years, and through the actions of not just the supporters but fans all around the stadium choosing to not go. What I have to imagine is a slump in merchandising fees and in concessions being sold and ticket reps and their commission and revenue through all of it together. I'll say the fans, just to make it easy, just to make it as a catch term, but the fans instituted change in their organization at a level and in a way that we haven't seen in Major League Soccer. So it's a big fucking day, man. Not just in the Galaxy. You can argue it's a very big day in the league as well.
Yeah, I mean it's going into it, being a united front and having this boycott. I mean, I think it's difficult on its own as American soccer fans to be taken seriously, and really when it comes to the sport in this country. And so to have this huge boycott of one of the most, or if not the most successful team in the league, to have that and just to kind of really voice where you feel you don't get heard a lot of the times. And so you kind of feel like a consumer more often than a fan. So to be there and to feel like you've actually been heard or you've enacted change, it's a good feeling, man. And I'm, people would argue with me over Twitter because, they some say, hey, just take the celebration. But I'm like, no, man, I'm gonna also celebrate, but also be petty because, man, I've wanted to go to the, since my daughter's born, I'm like, I wanted to be there in her first year of life and forever be ingrained in the Galaxy. So
Sure.
to not
Yeah, I
have
still
that
have.
opportunity, or to feel like that opportunity might not come, at least in the first years, it was a little disheartening. But now it's like it's happening. It's I can get put on her Galaxy jerseys or onesies that I bought, and plenty. Believe me, there's plenty of those. And be able to take it to the game. I mean, words can't describe how excited I am to take her to. And I mean, she won't know, and she'll probably never understand. Well, at least
Yeah, but it's
for a
not.
long time.
It's not. If it's anything like the experience I had with Damien, and that's all obviously all I can speak on, it's not really about her, or probably won't be about her for a long time, because I've gotten to show Damien the pictures of his first Galaxy game. But it's about you. It's about your relationship to the club, and you. I mean, for me anyway, and obviously there's the capo element and all that, and like going down to the box. But for me, it was like presenting my son to the Galaxy. Like, hey, thing I love. Here's this new thing that I have that I love. What do do you guys like each other? Like it was spiritual for me getting to bring my son to a game. 5 weeks old, same amount of weeks of championships. Like it was dangerous, and I appreciate my wife letting me take it. Um, but yeah, like bro, it's been heartbreaking for you. It's been heartbreaking for me knowing you've been unable to take your daughter out of loyalty, essentially. Like it's not a disloyal to the club or anything like that, but it's a loyalty to your people, your friends, your family, the Riot Squad, this group that we've been a part of for most of our life at this point. You stayed solid. Like you did what was very difficult, and yeah, I appreciate you doing that, man. I applaud what it must how difficult it must have been to want something so badly and to be thinking about it as long as you were thinking about it, and to have the boycott essentially start right before your daughter was born. I think it started like 20 days before she was born,
Yeah,
right
something
before
like
your
that.
daughter was born,
Yeah,
and then to still be like, fuck it. If that's the way the family is moving, then that's the way the family's moving. And
I
we
think
move with
that
the family.
I think that's one of the things that was a big uh sticking point, was that yes, it's going to come with it's going to be uncomfortable at times. It'll be difficult to not go to a place where you've spent every weekend or every other weekend for the last, you know, for some people,
Decades,
yeah,
decades,
26
decades,
years,
man.
20 plus years. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and then, the whole thing that happens, and, uh, to think that, who knows how long it's going to be, but we're going to stick it out, because if not now, then when will it happen? When will we get our team back?
Well, what's
When will,
enough? What would
yeah.
have been enough?
Mhm.
If judging it based on where they were, I mean, creating cheers, sir. I'll give you a cheers. Let me
Cheers.
cheers that up right there. Bang, baby. Um, Judging where the organization was when he took over, judging where the organization was when he got his first extension, judging where the organization was when he got his next extension, like what would have been the line? What is the line? If no other level of performance outside of sponsorships, and I heard some stuff this week that I'll tell you about off mic, but if anything outside of dollars and cents from a sponsorship standpoint is a thing that can get you walked, like as a fan, as a customer, which is, if that's how they're choosing to view you, that is 1,000 times. If they're choosing to view you and operate as if you were just a customer, then you need to and you, the fan, need to act like a customer and demand something for your money. If that's the product they're putting on the field, regardless of where they value him as an asset to AEG or as an asset to the Galaxy, regardless of how they see him, if they view you as a customer, then you should view the product they're presenting to you not as a supporter, not as someone who has this diehard loyalty that's going to see past individual seasons and individual losses and things like that. Act like a customer and look at it and say, hey, is this worthwhile of my time, energy, and money? And the bottom line is, for years now, the answer has been no. Being able to lean on people's emotional tie to the organization, that ran out, as it was always going to run out. It all ended up being too little too late. and all the changes to try to stave off and hold the job as long as possible was too little, too late. And it became clear like nothing was ever going to change if, led by the supporters, but the fans in general didn't make moves to try to see the thing they want. And that was Klein finally removed from the position.
Yeah, and I mean let's not just think that it just was the supporters or the fans boycotts. I mean, the team being terrible for the last, what was it? What would you break it down to? 8.5 years? When we be specific?
About 8.5,
9 years. But it's not 10 years, Chris. It's 8 years, 5 months, and 6 days or whatever.
Weeks, I forgot about that asshole. But look, even that, like so in November, it was just 8 years instead of 8.5 years. And we were like, yes, more, please. We need to lock him down to a multi-year deal to ensure he doesn't go anywhere. That was in November. Like that, what I'm interested in, when do people start asking questions? And I'm not saying this is what the boycott should roll into, but when do people start asking questions about Dan Beckerman and his level of foresight? Since he looked at the Klein situation of the last 11 years in management and 16 years in total, he looked at the Klein situation in November, at least that's when it was announced, in November, and said, yes, we need to put our money down to make sure we have more of this. Why was that good enough? Why was it good enough in November or August or September, whenever he got his thing?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think
today's a good
I think we've equally said, like, okay, now I saw a post and I think so too. It's all right. Now that's one gone. What about the other blind mice? What about the Krofskis? What about the Beckermans?
Well, I don't think Beckerman's going. And the real question for Beckerman, from a Beckerman perspective, I would say the real issue of the question is, why was what he had produced acceptable in November if it's not acceptable now? Right. And if you're not entirely judging him on field results, because if you are, you would have gotten rid of him years ago. So if you're not judging him on field results, like, why now instead of November? And then the other aspect would be like, how did you look at what was the determining factor in extending him in November to begin with? And we don't know an answer to that. And we may never get an answer to that. That is what it is. But I don't think today is a day to be honest with you, I don't think today would really be a day to look at the negatives and start poking holes. I'm sure that will come. That's going to come in the following.
I know we're gonna want to talk about how it's there's still so many pieces in place that we want gone from the organization, but I think you have to take what you kind of get for right now and be a little positive for now. I like in the chat on live chat, Bob Sacamano says they should have had the official Klein out announcement from Galaxy sponsored by the Sperm Bank.
So speaking of the live chat, and I haven't had a chance to say this in a while, can we get you guys to twiddly dinks that is a thumbs up button, the like button? You know what it's called, the thumbs up. Twiddly dinks that thumbs up for me.
Yeah, and then likes the likes and the share.
And share, yeah, do that if you want to.
But yeah, I mean,
people have to like endorse this.
Speaking of though, I mean, there seems like there's going to be a bit of a change, in the media side, and it's yet to be announced. But I mean, there seems to be changes afoot.
Some heavy rumors.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously, Klein being the one that's huge. That's huge. I mean, it's on, and especially on
heavy rumors in?
On a random Tuesday, it's kind of.
I think it's more the end of the month and after Memorial Day. Like it probably. I imagine it happened after the Charlotte game, and it just wasn't being announced until after the holiday.
Like the decision was made, even though he saw Chris Klein and it's chinos and Old Navy t-shirt.
He didn't take any questions or speak to the media. I've heard he's been dressing pretty casual for the last few weeks anyway. But I would imagine it happened after the Charlotte game, and they probably brought Greg in because they said Greg and Klein left together. I imagine they brought Greg into the conversation to be like, hey, here's how things are going to go. I've relieved Chris of duty essentially, and that's just the way that's going to be. So, I don't know. I heard he told he being Beckerman, told the staff this morning, this afternoon, somewhere around that. So it wasn't like it was a entirely known quantity throughout the front office through Sunday and Monday, but yeah, it certainly came down the pipe this morning.
Now, what do you think the atmosphere is like in the offices now? Do you think it's a little chaotic right now? Do you think there's it'll be a little, I don't know. What do you think how do you think the vibe is right now?
There had been a lot of talk that the vibe. I feel like I'm too old to describe things as a vibe.
To say the vibe. What's a vibe?
Yeah, it's like the vibe.
What's your vibrations at, Chris?
Maybe I'm a famous TikToker.
Well,
no,
we'll see.
Out too well.
We'll see if that is the indication of how we run things anymore.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I imagine we'll be running it differently. Yeah. I mean, look, I don't know. I've heard it's been pretty bad for a while. And, when you start thinking about things like commissions and ticket sale quotas and all that, and then all that's being kind of fucked up by one dude. And then you keep going back to your main customers, and your customers keep telling you, like, hey, I'm willing to come back, but there's one thing I need before I come back. And your answer every single time has to be like, no, he's still in charge. And then if you're just the ticket rep and you're making commission off this ticket, you're like, well, this guy is directly standing in the way of a larger paycheck for me. So if you're
did you see how many people were reached out to literally 10 minutes, 15 minits after the announcement was made?
They should. Yeah, they should. There's nothing wrong with that. They should.
Look,
you're catching people in a good mood.
If the consensus was, I will come back if this person is gone. So literally the minute the person's gone, you had to be on the phone like, all right, hey, it happened. You said it.
Yeah,
now buy the tickets.
I looked at flight tickets back home this afternoon. Yeah.
how many beer packs and how many extra like ticket giveaways are they're going to be doing now? Do you think those are going to?
There's no more.
Those are going to slow down.
Better soak it up. But no, look.
Sorry, no more free beers.
When I'm not. I don't want to speak for any of the supporters groups. Let me put it this way. I don't want to speak for any of the supporters groups on when they go back. I think this would be an ideal time to enshrine their place at the table in discussions with the front office. And they should have something of a say of what, as an organization, we're looking for in Klein's replacement. But when everybody's back, when it's all done, and we're 2 weeks past it, we're all ready to move on. And I'm buying season tickets for next year. Like, I don't know. If somebody needs a ticket to a game, hit me up. I will always have one. Like, yeah, this is the moment you support the new administration and the new regime. And as long as they're operating in good faith for the direction that they would like to go and the things they would like to achieve, I'm in. Like, I'm in. Am I going to lean on some people that I know to try to get like a player jersey or two? Sure, but I'm in. And this is how you exchange me not shitting on you for the next few months. But not all joking aside, like, yeah, the first thing those people should do is be on the phone, calling all these people back who have said, when this guy is gone, then I'm back. And I know people who have figured out ways to cancel season tickets. I don't know if that was the reason that this guy got let go, but like, I tell you, I was going to come on the show tonight and be like, hey, here's how you can cancel season tickets without any other penalties or fines. Like, here's the way. There's a minimal cost that you're going to have, in as much as the Galaxy won't let you buy them on a plan. But hey, here's a workaround for that problem. Like,
do you still think the people who didn't update those credit card informations are like, you know what, maybe I'll do that now.
I mean, look, it's simple. It involves your credit card information. But yeah, it's pretty simple.
Yeah. All the ones calling, they're like, hey, your card expiration date needs to be updated. You want to give us that? Like, nah. But like, hey, here's 3 cards on file.
And I'm ready to buy a jersey now. I won't, because they're fucking ridiculously expensive. But when we cleared up a little bit of this debt, we're trying to move around. Yeah, absolutely. You gotta be in, and like, geez, the party at that SKC home game is gonna be
That's a Wednesday, man. It's gonna be the most rocking Wednesday game
it's gonna be
ever
no
in the
work
history of
on
Galaxy.
Thursday.
I'm
Yeah,
you
look,
know what I'm thinking about now. I might tell my boss, I'm like, hey man, I'm not coming in Thursday.
it'll be the highest attended match of the season
I'm
by
like,
far.
Denise, you need to be my designated driver because it's
Bring
gonna
the
be
baby.
fun.
No, don't get hammered. Don't get hammered because you want to be there with that kid. You want to commit as much of that shit to memory as possible.
No, see, I thought about it. It's gonna be a Wednesday night game, man. I don't know if I'll be able to take the baby on that game.
Ed, you sent Klein out and he's gone. What are you talking about?
Oh, I will be there.
You're just not gonna take. You're gonna go to the game without the bad form.
It's a night game, dude. By the time the game starts, it's like her bedtime already.
Yeah, she's not watching the fucking game, dickhead. She's 5 months old. What are you talking about? Are you explaining the
She's pretty
offside trap to
observant.
her? Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Ed, it's not about her. This is one of the few things in your life, especially as a girl dad, that's going to be about you. Like, but if you want to take her to a Saturday game when speakers are blasting and everybody's absolutely right, yeah, it's a good call. Do that.
Because the first game back, everyone's not going to be absolutely just hammered.
Yeah, but it's a Wednesday game, so like they still a solid number of them, a decent portion of them will have to go to work the next day.
There's plenty of time to be like, hey, I'm putting that PTO in now. That's 3 weeks out.
There's plenty of time. Yeah, oh my god. I might have to look at plane tickets. Oh, I want to
go. Oh man. But yeah, I mean it's how exciting. You know what? And this isn't gonna solve the problems we've had, a lot of the problems we have currently.
For this season?
Yeah.
Oh no, we're still trash, bro.
Yeah.
We're still awful.
And again, it's me trying not to be the buzzkill or whatever, but this isn't gonna solve being last place and losing 9 games out of the first 15 games of the season.
Yeah, we're not good.
But at least
let's totally dinks that thumbs up button. Hit that again.
But it's hope, right? It's hope. Like now we can finally feel like maybe this is gonna turn around after how many years of just decline, and not making playoffs and squandering Zlatan and squandering these players that should have probably raised a trophy while they were here. And Ashley Cole probably should have raised the trophy. Ayala probably should have raised the trophy. And so,
yeah.
But it's the first time in a long time you're like, wow, I actually can see us becoming somewhat of what we once were. I think that's kind of the big thing, right?
Can I interject?
Oh yeah.
This is why I laugh. We haven't even hired anybody. Just so if anyone from the front office is listening to this, if anyone from the Galaxy is listening, we haven't even hired anyone. But just by subtracting someone who pays attention every week to what you do, who reads all the things that come out about you, who watches the videos that you put out, someone who is committed to the overall project of what you're trying to build, looking at it from like a 20, 30, 40, 50-year standpoint, someone who is committed to your club, just by subtracting someone, that person is more hopeful about what you do. Someone asked me, like, one of my buddies who's in the Timbers Army, he's like, so do you think you guys are going to stand a chance in a couple of years? And I said, well, yeah, like we're back to fighting the war against our opposition. When you stop shooting your own soldiers, it gives you a better chance of winning the war. We don't have friendly fire anymore because you don't have this guy who's just like, I will destroy through the club directly into a civil war that you could see months out of what they were planning and how they were choosing to maneuver through the club into a civil war in an attempt to claw onto a seat for a job he hadn't successfully done in years and years and years. But it was about whether he stayed in that job. He deserved to be in that job. Just by losing that guy, you're more hopeful. And the other guy, I'm waiting on an official announcement. It's like an extra Christmas present that your dad hides. And then right when everybody thinks all the presents are done, he's like, here you go.
Oh, wait, hold on. I think there's one more right in the back. Oh, yeah. Who's this for?
What? It's an ethnicity. Oh, my goodness. Yeah,
but yeah, and like you said, it's an addition by subtraction. Like this is now, yeah, even my wife mentions like, you're celebrating, but what if they get someone who's worse?
Yeah. Oh, believe me, the first thing I thought was devil you know versus devil you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is,
wrong.
Yeah, it's true. It could happen, but I feel like now more than ever, there's actually, again, what I mentioned in the beginning, we have some sort of voice now instead of just a consumer
Yeah.
and business relationship. It's like actually we can have, we have a card in the pocket to play and say, hey, you know what, if we're not pleased with what we're doing, we're not going to enjoy the product, we're not going to take part in the product.
Well, look, it's an opportunity for both sides, really. It's not just like the supporters being like, yeah, we got Klein out, blah blah blah. It's an opportunity for the Galaxy to redefine themselves for how they're viewed. They don't have to be this cold, callous, you know, cheating machine. And when I say cheating, I'm not referencing the Pavone incident, but I'm talking about the prior to Pavone, the understanding in Major League Soccer circles that like MLS bends the rules for the Galaxy. Like this is an opportunity for you to bring your supporters in and to change the dynamic and the relationship you have with each other, so that fans don't feel like they're just a faceless customer. They're a dollar sign. You may view them legitimately as just a dollar sign, but this is an opportunity to kind of change that opinion, that direction. Yeah, and she's right. Like it's addition by subtraction, but what if it's if the devil you don't know is worse than the devil you know?
Right.
AEG spends the money. AEG cuts the check that puts them near the top of Major League Soccer, and we're dead last. So what could a new president do? I mean, I'm knock on wood asking that question. But what could a new president do for what the fans are looking for? Like, what did Klein do that for what the fans were looking for engagement that the fans were looking for? Where you're like, hell yeah, we need that guy in a multi-year extension because we can't not have that.
And what worse can someone be at their job that they're like, you know what, the last guy stayed here for 11 years and
11 years, yeah.
yeah.
And it's simple as standing section for V block happened after LAFC and the 3252, despite the ACB and the Galaxians asking for it several years earlier. Happened after. A women's team, you get them to agree and then you lose them. And you just don't start one. You never really wanted to start one. It took someone else showing up with the money to go, yeah, as an organization, we want to have a women's team here. You're supposed to be the league leaders. You're supposed to be the innovators of these things. But you'll sit back and let somebody else do it, even though all these other MLS teams have women's teams. You don't even have the USL women's team. You have standout academy stars that we're losing left, right, and center because there's no oversight about who your coaches are. Nobody's looking into who your coaches are and who they're bringing around the games. But as long as everybody's cool, then it doesn't matter. As long as everybody's just having a good time at the office, it doesn't matter. You have a technical director who's been accused and accused and accused and accused of dodgy things over and over and over again. How much worse could you be?
Yeah.
Like, and look, I'm a Newcastle fan. Like I did 14 years of the Mike Ashley regime. Like, believe me, it can always get worse. It can always get worse.
So
maybe we sign somebody who's like full on, like, hey, this is what we're going to be now, and that's that. But like, I think what would be our benefit and what would hinder that greatly is the man who's calling the shots from AEG in relation to the Galaxy have just seen what the Galaxy fans are willing to do if they are displeased with their club, if they're displeased with the direction of the club, and if they're displeased with how they feel the transparency and accountability is being carried out in their club. They will simply stop coming. It'll just get quiet. It'll just get really, really, really quiet. And yeah, you can threaten the ACB or V Block or whatever by taking away their supporter status and just selling the general admission section. And you can threaten Lars with their supporter status and taking away 138 and filling that with more prawn eater seats. Yeah, you could 100% do that. But then people ain't going to clap when you want them to. Because people are not going to present you with the material to continue marketing your program. If you feel like you can do it on your own, do it on your own. And what they showed today is, hey, we're a family. We're all stuck together. Sometimes your family's got to fuck up, and you know what? We're all stuck together. It's just the way it is. I'm glad with where we're going. I'm glad where it seems like we're headed, and clearly coming into a new era of the LA Galaxy. It can't be overstated. Try as he might, Chris Klein is the single most destructive person in the history of our club. I don't think it was, I've got my wacky theories, but I don't really think it was intentional. I don't think that's what he sought out to do. I just don't think he was the strong enough character to stop things that he saw happening early enough. And then you end up surrounding yourself by all your friends, and it gets a lot harder with the job first. So she might be right. I don't think she is. I don't think it's possible that she could be right on this, but hey, we'll see.
Yeah, how can you get worse than the laughing stock of the league when you're last place and just
yeah. How do you get worse than your guy being like, if we don't get to the Western Conference semifinal, I will step down, and then like subsequently losing every fucking game.
Yeah,
like all of them.
So I want to speak of that. What the timing of this? Why now? Why not? At the end of last season? Why not? At the end of 2017 when the Galaxy finished last place.
What he does well, whatever that is good enough. It's just not good enough for you. It's not the job you wish he would do. It's not the job you want him to be doing. His priority is not what you prioritize. But he's doing a good. I've been telling you this for years. He's doing a good job by the terms AEG is grading him on doing a good job. I don't know what that is. I mean, it seems to me like he was destroying a product. Something that I imagine.
And we've asked what are the parameters of like why? What's the standards? Yeah, what's the criteria of his? What's a success for a Chris Klein's position?
Because he clearly must be making it. There has to be a success between 2017 and 2022-23. Is it? I don't know if you saw Hercules Gomez on the Football Medicus, but he's like, is it just signing the Zlatan? Is it just signing the Ricky Puig? Like that's enough? That's all it takes. As long as he can sign those guys, doesn't matter whether those guys win. Doesn't matter whether you're once you have more eyes on your product, you're getting better. People are viewing you in a better light. No, you're better off not signing them and having people not watch you, because then they just will continue to have no opinion of you rather than a worse opinion, which is what you actually did.
You're embarrassing yourself.
Well, you look at when Beckham first got here, the first 2-3 years of Beckham being here, the Galaxy as an organization looked worse because he didn't want to try. With Zlatan, you have a guy working his fucking ass off. Legendary numbers. I think he's like 5th all-time goal scorer, 3rd maybe. I'm going to pull it up just so I can be right about this.
And being here 2.5 years.
You have a guy who's 2 years. No, less than 2 years.
Less than 2, yeah.
Less than 2 years because he showed up in March, played the end of that season from March, and then he played the 2019 season. And it's good. 4th all time. Landon, Robbie, Kobe, and then Zlatan. 4th all time. Played less than 2 years, and is arguably the 3rd greatest player over the last era of soccer. So you're having people who would otherwise not watch your product. You become must-see television. As far as MLS is concerned, for MLS fans, you're must-see television because you have the big star. And you're terrible. And they see that and they go, yes, more time. The guy, the Karofskis, and it's looking at the people under the umbrella of Chris Klein, the scouting network that's under the umbrella of Chris Klein, the contract being negotiated by the technical director, Jovan Karofsky, under the umbrella of Chris Klein. Awful, year after year after year after year after year. And it doesn't matter. Well, today it matters. Like today it fucking matters. Today, I mean, for every day as a Galaxy fan, you can believe, hey, my opinion doesn't really matter. Today it fucking matters. Probably Saturday it mattered, but at least today, it matters.
We have a question in the live chat
I'm not
from Logan. From Logan Jones. Do you guys think that Will Kuntz will be the next president?
I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I get the desire for it. This is the only reason I think he might be. This is the only reason I think he might be. It's a weird move. Like if I understand the structure and the organization chart, he came from LAFC as a 2 to join us as a 3. when we were like, you know, fucked essentially, and they were like, hey, we're gonna go win the CONCACAF Champions League. Like we're gonna become the second team in the modern era of MLS to win this CONCACAF Champions League. In a final for the second time in his time there, and he would leave them to come to us like to be a third. It's strange, but it's the only reason. It's the only reason that I believe that to be the case. You know, he seems to come very well respected in MLS from the people that I know that I've talked to who know him or know of him. So I don't know, to be honest. I got to hear some of him on Corner of the Galaxy, and he seemed to. There's no nice way to say it, but he didn't sound like he was a president waiting on somebody to get walked, unless he didn't know that he was going to get walked. You know, timeline wise, if that happened if he got walked on Saturday, you would imagine Will would know. But if Beckerman is only telling people today, then you know who knows. I don't know, to be honest. I hope whoever does come in is eager to accept and work with someone who is supposed to be one of the better rules people in Major League Soccer, and certainly one of the better budget people in MLS. But I don't understand. I don't understand how you have someone who is so high level when it comes to contracts and salaries in MLS, and Jovan Karofsky, who seems to use the contract and budget structure to, you know, we'll say maneuver. I was gonna say maneuver creative. I got some shit to lose nowadays. I can't be talking a while. Like
I'd say he just to line his pockets. I got nothing to lose.
But to maneuver creative.
Yeah. As they would say, maybe if you would go to like you know, a place where you would wash clothes, not the drying part, but the other part.
Like a laundry part?
Yeah, but you do that with finances. I don't know, something like that. I don't know.
Something in that range.
Yeah. Money laundering. Yeah. That's what he's talking about.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know, but I would be hopeful for it of what I know of him. He seems like a very smart guy. I'm all for it.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting. I mean, you know, we'll see if they maybe they bring in another guy and Will becomes that number 2 again, and hopefully they get rid of Klein, or not Klein. They get rid of Jovan as well, and
I wouldn't mind seeing him move into a technical director role.
Yeah,
like just flat out take Jovan's role and report directly to the president as a number 2. If he's not president, FWK. If you get the presidency, like I'm not trying to slow down your shine. Or anything,
he's like, but you could bring me as your number 2.
Oh, I don't want me work.
I'll fly to France and negotiate for more money.
This is the thing. So look, this isn't me advocating. I would work for the Galaxy. I really would. I wouldn't have worked for the previous administration. There's not real. I mean, like you say, there's no amount. Obviously, there's. I'm a whore. I will take that check.
Yeah, but, you're a dirty whore.
You know, I would want, in working for the club, I would want it to be successful, and that genuinely, in the bottom of my heart, this isn't hyperbole. I'm not trying to shit on Klein or Karofsky or any of those guys. It's nothing like that. From the bottom of my heart, I didn't believe that was a focus for the last 7 years, maybe 8 years, even. Definitely 7. Definitely 6. 6 is probably fair. 4, no, 7. Yeah, I would say for the last 7 years, it hasn't really been a focus on trying to be the best that you can be, trying to be as successful as possible, earnestly trying to be as successful as possible. I think they would have liked to be successful. I think if they got to accomplish the things, priorities, and in accomplishing the priorities, one of the one of the after effects happened to be being even moderately successful, I think they would have taken it and been like, hey, that's great in and of itself. But I don't think they woke up every day doing the, you know, essentially the Bruce thing of like, hey, how do we get better? Hey, how do we become more competitive? How do we get to a point where we can start trying to win or turn this around or change this piece so that we can do this? I haven't gotten that sentiment from them in a very, very long time. Right. And it's you know, I've seen some great news in live chat there. You know, I would hope this next administration is almost centrally focused on getting us back to the top because that's what it's going to take. That's how much work still needs to be done. So would I work for the new administration? Sure. FWK want to toss me a job? Absolutely. You just let me know. Let me know what I've told them all for years. Let me know whatever I can do to help. I think they took it as bullshit or like maybe sarcasm or like a threat or something. But no, I love the Galaxy. What I want is for the Galaxy to be fucking successful. It bothers me that there are simple pitfalls that you guys seem to find your way falling into. That like even me as just someone who looks at your product from the outside, I can go, well, don't do that. That's fucking dumb. That's obviously not going to work.
It's almost like Wile E. Coyote stupidity of like running into your own painted mural on the side of a rock, blowing yourself up with your Acme, rocket or whatever that is not going to work.
Yeah,
and it's time and time again. It's just over and over. They shoot themselves in the foot until finally, enough's enough, and then
it's just not. It just isn't a priority. It hasn't seemed like a priority in a long time. If it was a priority, if it was genuinely a priority to win, Karofsky probably would have been gone a while ago. You would have gotten a analytics department when Ziggy asked for it. You would have gotten a scouting network when Ziggy asked for it instead of going, we'll trust Karofsky and his guys. They'll figure it out. Like you probably would have set up a structure if winning as was a priority. There appears to be a structure for sponsorships. You sponsor anything that swims, anything with a tail. You'll take a sponsor for anything. There seems to be a structure for getting sponsorships, but there isn't.
You funny you say that because of the sperm bank. Anything with tail, baby.
Thank you, stepping all over the joke. Appreciate it.
Yeah. I had to explain it for the dumb people like me. Okay.
Yeah, there isn't a structure for like scouting and acquiring players, so it's not a priority. Just you work at a school, someone showing you their work, like just looking at what they bring you, it's not a priority. Winning hasn't been a priority, so if they prioritize it, I'm all in. Live chat, man. Nestor, stop trying to get us in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, I think a big part of it, who knows? Because I think a lot of things people are asking about are like, how much involvement does AEG have? AEG is this huge billion-dollar corporation. Like, do their higher ups even really, is the Galaxy even a blip on their radar of if the tickets aren't selling, is it really going to come up on the radar? Is it more so that you get things like coverage of ESPN and all these international sites that are covering the boycott and kind of bringing to light some of the mishaps or what's been going on for the last decade?
Well, I think
do you feel like it's more that, or it's actually fans not showing up and the loss in revenue?
I think those two things are tied. I don't think you get one without the other. Look, with all due respect to anyone who feels like they need it or deserve it, I don't think you get to hear if everyone's showing up and we're boycotting in the stands. I think if Lars went back and Ghost Ultras went back and the Outlaws went back and the Galaxians all went back and everyone's protesting from the stands, I think we all just move on. I think you're booing at the end of a game and then they just move on, they keep going. I think you had sustained pressure. I definitely think they're going to end up taking some credit for it, but it didn't seem to be getting. It didn't appear to be received very well how the ACB were acting after the last game, and you got a lot of international coverage about it. But also, if you were reading the coverage, in every single article, the coverage is highlighting the fact that AEG doesn't seem to be paying attention. ESPN is calling AEG out for ignoring or forgetting the fact that they own the Galaxy. Like that's when you start bringing into you start making the big money look bad, and that's a problem. It's it's easy to ignore what fans want until it starts coming back to you, and until you I tell my boss all the time, my ultimate job is to keep you from ever having to read an email that says we need to talk about Christopher Tucker. Like that's my job. That's my actual job. Inside of that, well, look, that's your job. Inside of that, you have all these other responsibilities and tasks. But essentially, your job is to keep your boss from getting an email that says, "Hey, we need to talk about this guy because we need to talk to me if this guy fucked up."
If you ever been in a relationship and the person's like, "We need to talk," it's not.
That's awful, man.
It's not. Look, no one. Here, I bought you these tickets to this awesome, concert you want to go see. Like, no, it's always like,
hey, look, we need to talk. We need to talk. You want a quick beat or something before church? How you doing? That's just not the way it works. It's not the way it works. It's always like, we need to talk. Here's some shit you did. Here's some shit you need to work on that you fucked up. Like, that's the way it goes. And I don't think you get any pressure on AEG with the fans boycotting in the stands. I don't think that's how it's going. Especially given where you've seen in general how the boycott in the stands have gone, or it's like everything else is kind of normal, and then for like 10 minutes there's a client out chant. Well, there's silence for 10 minutes for whatever reason, and then there's like normal chanting, and then the last like 10 minutes of the game there's client out chants again, and then we yell at Raheem Edwards and Mark Delgado and Jonathan Klinsman, while every big money player that's taking up all the actual salary has fucked off to the back and has moved on with their day.
Well, the other one got a red card too, so
yeah, he can come back out at the end of the game. He just doesn't have to and doesn't want to. Why would he? Like, what's the benefit? What's the benefit to him coming
Yeah, that dude probably showered and was like, "I'm out of here."
He's gone in like 6 months. Like that, you can't operate as if he's going to be here next year. He knows he's not going to be here.
I mean, less, right? Because I think their contract expires December 2nd or something like that. So it's like 5 months.
December 31st, and it's the end of the year.
Someone said December 2nd, but okay.
Pretty sure it's the end of the year.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
But I mean, either way, like he knows he's going here. He knows essentially, with all due respect to him, essentially his soccer career is over. Getting bodied in Major League Soccer. You're playing in the Open Cup against LAFC and you're getting bodied by a 17-year-old. It's probably about over. If Ricky stays for next year, go ahead.
I wanted to interject real quick. This is probably the best comment I've seen all day from Arquitecto Verbal, I believe. Check out his music. Pretty sweet music. Joe Tino for president. I think that's been the smartest comment.
And I take that all day. I'll take that all day. Even if he didn't have a game plan, like what to do, I'd be like, look, you can't be worse than last.
His voice would just be like, "Oh yeah, you've convinced me totally. You can say whatever you want to me."
Bro, did you hear him give me a shout out during the Sherman game?
Oh no, I didn't. I was
he gave me a shout out on the broadcast. He was like, "For everyone staying up late watching Chris out in the Carolinas," and I was like, he knows I'm alive.
I just always appreciate a birthday. Hey, happy birthday from Justino every year.
Yeah, every year, man. Guy never misses a beat.
Love it.
Yeah, look, I got 3 years. I got 3 years up with Joe as president. Even if it doesn't work out, it'd be fine.
Joe's the president of the people, man. He doesn't need to be president of the club.
Let him try. How about this? Klein's out. Freeway Willie becomes president. Joe Totino becomes, what is Will? Special vice president of player acquisitions or whatever.
Yeah, whatever the title is.
You move it. Yeah, whatever. Give him a nice Carrasco check. Practically nothing. Spend a bunch of money.
Again, you fly to France whenever you want to, and just
who deserves it if not Joe?
"Quote unquote" alter the deals to make it worse for the team, but also make it better for yourself. I don't know, however that works.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly. He's saying he means allegedly. He hasn't said it, but he means allegedly.
Yeah.
Why explain something to me. Why not just toss in allegedly right there, just to save your skin?
You did it for me.
I did it for me. I want to make that legally very clear.
They don't complain to me about me. They complain to me about you, or complain to you about me. So it's fine.
I don't know. I don't hear anybody anymore, so it's fine.
But Lars Capo Supremo, no one boycotts a Joe T presidency, even if we lose games for 3 years straight.
Let him, bro. I lose with Joe. I lose with Joe Tino. Zero problem with that.
Yeah, zero problems with that. Zero problems with that.
You're like, you guys, Riot Squad are a bunch of jokes. You guys are back to back to back wooden spoon winners. And we're like, yeah, bitch, but Joe Totino's our president, and what? Suck it. We're better than you.
Denise is making fun of me in the background over here.
What's up, girl? How you living?
She's like doing the public thrust, like.
Perfect for you.
Oh man, I know it's just it'll be interesting. I don't know. I think Will's probably got himself a good shot of getting into that presidency spot, but I don't know. Maybe him made as number 2, but maybe he has bigger ambitions than being a number 2 again. Maybe he wants to be that number 1.
Yeah. I mean, look, there would have to be a plan. I would assume there's a plan, but at least they've given themselves enough time. With all due respect to Will, they've given themselves enough time to really open it up and make this a big search for the right guy. They were banned from making any real significant international signings in the summer. Like, take your time, take as much time as you can.
Yeah, I mean, don't sully his name by making him president now, and it's like worst season of the Galaxy history, and it's like it's going to be under his name.
Look at Mauricio Pochettino over at Chelsea. The guy officially became Chelsea manager the day after the season ended. He's like, I don't want fucking anything to do with that shit. Keep me at arm's distance from all of it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, man. It's again, I think it's, and they say the saying is it's the hope that kills you, but it actually feels like changes are happening and in the positive way, in the right direction. And we'll see. I mean, there's Vanny's not been let go, and he's still on the job, and
you can't let it go. Like, well, this is the other thing. Now you could. Vanny was never going to get fired. I mean, Vanny was never going to get fired while Chris was still president. Just wasn't going to happen. You'd be signing up to have, with all due respect to him, Kalishman take over as first team boss, or bring somebody else in who's like, hey, the person who hired me might get fired at the end of the year. Yeah. You were never going to fire me. It didn't make any sense.
Someone posted the Berhalter picture, and I was like, please don't ruin this good day.
With Klein, it probably would have been Berhalter.
That might have been happened. That might have happened at the end of the year.
Might have been Berhalter. I'll tell you this, man. I love not knowing. I don't know. I've been right. Not patting myself on the back. I've been right about moves of the Galaxy for a very, very, very long time. And it's not that I'm this super smart guy or this overly wise guy or anything like that. I literally just told you guys the things he's told me from his mouth. All the ethnic baiting and all that stuff, that's all just shit he told me himself of how he viewed the organization and how he thought we should be moving forward. The way he viewed big stars, the way he viewed fans. I'll still defend him as a person. Chris Klein, a great guy. At least in my knowing of him as a person, he was always very respectful to me and to my kids. Like, can't ask for much more than that. As a person, I feel bad that he lost his job. I do, as a human being, I feel bad that he lost his job. But as a Galaxy fan, it pains me that he didn't realize a long time ago that he just wasn't up for this from our perspective. I understand he's serving different masters, and AEG wanted different things from him. But as someone who just loves watching the Galaxy play soccer, hopefully very well, like, he's been disastrous. And I hope he can move on to better things that don't affect me in any way.
You know what I thought right now, and it just popped in my head. You have someone who has presidency experience, ties to the Galaxy. What about Todd Donovan?
I take Todd. Yeah, I mean, he did great things with Sacramento Deltas. The only issue is, like, pretty far down the pecking order for what you're hoping to get done.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for what you're trying to do, it's probably not as high as you would like it to be in the general pecking order of U.S. soccer. And you don't want him to get in over his head. I wouldn't mind seeing Todd brought into the organization, kind of learning it at an MLS level. But, like, he did great work before, and kind of hung out at that level. Didn't progress up the hill too much.
That'd be an interesting name to pop out there. Yeah, I like your take on that. Yeah, bring him in, not so much as the president, but maybe something within the organization. I like that.
He's general manager at Sacramento Republic right now, still an organization that seems to be doing pretty well. He moved over from San Francisco. So, I mean, look, he's in the second division.
San Francisco Deltas that he won?
San Francisco Deltas, yeah.
Yeah.
And look, but I don't know that you would bring him in. It's the Robbie Keane thing. It's like, do you bring a guy in to learn at this level when you're already down bad. Like it's not like you're asking him to sustain like when what's the guy's name? Oh fuck, who's that West End now? David Moyes. Like when Moyes came in after Fergie, like you have this built up team, and then you just need someone to kind of consistently carry it. But you know what we're doing is we're in the process of, assuming Karofsky goes, you're in the process of almost total rebuild of your organization, a complete rebuild of how you guys do things and how you're structured and potentially how you're structured. Like I don't know that I want someone learning in that position. I would want someone who is like comfortable in the role, comfortable as a head of a top team with top team expectations. Sacramento doesn't have top team expectations. It's just not. It's not their world, and I want him to be successful.
Not anymore.
Well, you know, look, they got passed by. That happens. Yeah. But like it's the Galaxy. Like the hope is that you're not getting easily passed by and overlooked, and that's kind of where we've been lately.
Sorry, some of these live chats are funny as hell, man. You got our good boy Art. He's saying, if I have to pay child support, so does Costa.
That's all. You see that?
We didn't do. my man getting a arrest warrant in Brazil.
Brazilian arrest warrant, which is a great name for a band.
Oh yeah.
Is a Brazilian arrest warrant for failing to pay child support. Galaxy paying $4.5 million a year.
And he's like, nah.
He's like, that's my money. You know what's sad though?
I've earned that by not doing anything.
By not showing by playing 168 minutes over
by faking injuries and going on vacation all the time.
Well, I keep seeing Galaxy, and people got knocked this up. Is this enough to cancel his contract? Like, so what do you like? Who are you looking out for in this scenario? Are you looking out for that kid? Or the best thing you can do is be like, hey, you don't get any more money. That's the best way you can help the kid. Like you're being selfish.
So you're guaranteeing that kid doesn't get anyone either.
Yeah, you want him gone. And look, I get it. I want him gone too. There's avenues to go about it. It's clear we're not doing that. Like, look, he got fired today. Like Klein couldn't afford $4.5 million in a buyout from that dude. He can't afford $11 million buyout of designated players. It's just not. It's not going to happen. It might happen now because there's way more wiggle room. And if he's not showing up, like Beckerman can sign off on it, but you know, we'll see how that goes. Because what you would have done, ideally, is like bought him out last week and had that go on Klein, and then walk Klein this week. And then you're like, all right, Costa's out, Klein's out. We all just need to move forward as a family, and everything's smooth from here.
We're cool, right? We're good. Holding out his fists to get fist bumps. Like we're cool, right?
Yeah.
We're cool.
I always thought Klein would spearhead a rebrand before he left. That's gone. Yeah, it's with a potential full-on rebuild. Like, I don't know, could go a couple different directions. But it's exciting, man. It's fucking exciting.
So we have a couple questions.
Yeah.
Let's get it. We had some lightning round stuff, but it's not much that I think we have already kind of covered everything. Asking about what about Jovan? What do you think is the next moves for him, or what do you think his time is up? Is his time up? Hashtag is Karofsky's time up?
Man, I love not knowing. I tell you the truth, man. I love not knowing, because when Klein was there, I'd be like,
untouchable.
Untouchable. And now I'm like, that's the thing. I don't know Shadow President. He's not even Shadow President anymore. He has stepped out into the sunlight.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't know.
He's done more public appearances than Klein did in the last year.
Yeah, I'm thinking about what's the guy's name? Nuclear Man from what's it, Superman 4? Quest for Peace. The guy who like went into the sun. I don't know if you ever saw that. He gets like long fingernails.
I will admit I'm not too versed on Superman movies.
I had like a 15-minute conversation about how surprised someone was that you don't watch Jean-Claude Van Damme. It's abnormal. It's like objectively. Just
I remembered another movie I've seen of his, Kickboxer.
Oh yeah.
I've seen that one.
Look, you're more tied to the JV.
I could probably let's go through his IMDb. I've probably seen a bunch of his stuff.
Yeah, so if you don't normally watch this show, this is how we waste time.
You talk about Jovan. What do you think his the next move is?
Talk about something important. I do think Jovan is.
I typed in Jovan and IMDb, by the way.
No problem. I do think Johan is gone. I don't, whether it happens today or whether it happens tomorrow. I think it would behoove of Sun President Dan Beckerman to out in the world President Dan Beckerman to go, hey, if I'm in for a penny, I'm in for a pound. If I'm already going to appear as if I'm bending to the supporters and getting rid of Klein, then let's just go ahead and go the whole hog and get rid of Karofsky too and start fresh. Give the new guy a fresh start. Like, don't make him have to come in and walk the technical. It's pretty clear. It's pretty clear Karofsky is here as a Klein guy, and given that, like, they should all kind of go on their own together. Wouldn't be surprised to see Stevens end up walking. Not that he's necessarily done anything wrong, but like he is an indication of this, like, almost this buddy system that we've been running for years.
It's the boys club that we've talked about.
Ensuring like all your homeboys have a paycheck on AEG's dime, and I can't fault them because, like I've told you, and I've been honest with everyone on the show, man. Hire me as president. If you hire me as president on Monday, Ed will be showing up to work on Tuesday. That's why you shouldn't let me be president.
Yeah, that's why you shouldn't. Yeah,
exactly. But like I feel for Klein. I know this is way more vampy than you expected. Like, I feel for Klein. I hear him being like, I love the club. I've been there 16 years. I love that club.
Oh shit! Double team. I've seen that one too.
Oh, with Dennis Rodman.
With him and Rodman. Yeah, I've seen that one.
I'm telling you, you're sleeping on JVD.
I've definitely seen Legionnaire. I've seen Universal Soldier.
Hard Target. Yeah.
Hard Target. No way. What was the one? Didn't he have one that he had like a twin or something? Oh, here it is. Double Impact.
There's a lot of double in the Jean-Claude Van Damme space.
Imagine two Jean-Claudes in a movie. It's like you could barely hear him and understand him in the first one.
You can barely hear him. Twin. You can barely hear him over the Oscar nominations.
Yeah,
what are you talking about? It's the greatest film ever. But like, I hear what Klein's talking about with this. Like, I've loved the club 11 years, 16 years. I love it here. Yeah, man, I love it too. I love it enough to know if I got that job, I'm going to hire my friends, and that's why you shouldn't hire me to do it. I love it. I would love to do that job. I think I'd be okay at it in general. But like, yeah, Ed's not going to be technical director. But yeah, he's going to work there. Like, he's going to get a paycheck if I'm working there. It's just the way it is.
Just put me as some executive of something that has no responsibilities, and we'll be fine.
You'd be in charge of some shit. Look, I'm gonna shave some of that sweet AEG dollar off for you. Exactly. But you're not gonna be able to screw something. You're gonna be like in charge of the team that shines the Ring of Honor. That's what a new president can do right off the bat. Look, new president person who's in charge. You want me on your side, as wildly unimportant as that shit is. You want me on your side? This is the first thing you can do. Wall of Legends, Ring of Honor, and Legends Plaza. Turn that into a hierarchy system where your Landon Donovans, your Kobe Jones, your David Beckhams, your Robbie Keanes. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say your Preston Judds have their statue in Legends Plaza. Legend. Your lower tier, highly notable players. Maybe you wouldn't call them legendary players, but right in that range, man. Like your Mike McGee's, your Kevin Hartman, all your guys who are legendary guys who are never going to get a statue. Your Mike McGee, your Kevin Hartman, Sean Franklin, like notable dude. Or even if say they don't make the ring of honor, then you put those guys on the Wall of Legends. Very notable guys that the history of the club should be remembered as. Legends Plaza, Ring of Honor, and your Wall of Legends. It doesn't have to. Not only should it not be abandoned, it's a unique little thing that you have where you can go, bro, we're so fucking dope. We have 3 different places that we qualify players as. That's how fucking dope we are. That's how amazing of an organization that we've been running for years. And we have players who legitimately in Major League Soccer deserve statues, deserve eternal remembrance. But we also have guys who are like, look, they're not going to get a statue because you can't just hand those out to everybody. But like, hey, man, Mike McGee was fucking dope. Mike McGee did some shit. And then you have other guys who are like, oh, well, this is Todd Donovan should go on a Wall of Legends. You know what I mean? Like Sean Franklin should go on a wall of legends.
Build your own little history museum in the stadium.
Well, this is how you start those things. These are these footsteps. So you can have a kid walk by that section and be like, "Hey, who was Juninho?" Oh, well, Juninho was fucking. He was top tits back in the day. You don't know about Juninho, and like, look, way more guys can end up on the Wall of Legends than end up on the Ring of Honor. Way more guys can end up on the Ring of Honor.
He was the diamond in the trio turd that came from Sao Paulo.
Yeah, like there's things you can do, but like that's a new president. Our current president forgot about it. As far as I've ever heard, like essentially every time new people got shuffled in, they were like, well, here's my thing. And since every person who works at the Galaxy has just been focused on building their resume so they can fuck off to the next thing, they don't really care about finishing someone else's project. They want to be, oh, well, here's my project that I started. But at this new guy, like look further, look 10 years down the line, even if you don't plan on being here in 10 years, look 10 years down the line and start setting stuff up for the president who shows up 10, 15 years down the line to continue for once. And you'll have my support. I will look, I want to be on board with what you do anyway. Did I vamp enough, Ed? Are you good?
Oh yeah, no, I was done. I was done looking up Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. And yes, I have seen Bloodsport. Bloodsport is the greatest movie ever made, next to
Bloodsport is right. I brought Bloodsport up there. You haven't seen Bloodsport?
It's, I mean, hands down the greatest acting ever, especially like blind acting when he gets, you know, these like little dribble of spit coming down his face. It's perfect. Perfect acting.
You said you have lightning round 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, let's end on this question. I want to talk to you about relationships, right? How do we go from here? From like the relationship from the team, you know, supporters, and maybe people who didn't, you know, weren't supporting the boycott.
Bro, like, ask the question you want to ask.
No, this is what I'm asking. How do we start mending bridges now? Is what I'm asking basically.
What bridges need to be mended?
I mean, you know, ticket reps weren't getting paid what they could have gotten paid. You have
they shouldn't have people buying tickets.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying.
I'm gonna force you to ask the question you want to ask it.
You're not gonna. No, I'm asking the question I want to ask.
Mm-hmm. What's the question?
And where do we go from here? Is what I'm asking. the community, the Galaxy community.
I think the Galaxy community shows up on June 21st at home versus Sporting Kansas City, a down bad Sporting Kansas City, and yeah, we move on from there. I don't know what question you're asking, so I assume that's a good enough answer for you, unless there's a different question you like to ask.
That's whatever answer you think is
specific question. Yeah, if there's a more like specific question you like to ask, I'll gladly answer it for you. But if that's the question you're presenting,
that was my question. I wasn't setting up for anything. There's no, alternative motive or ulterior.
It sounds like there might be one.
There really wasn't.
Yeah, it's not.
So what's the priority going forward then for the team? Is it just now that we're going to get fans back in the stands, try to again, are we mending relationships? Or are we just kind of move on and try to ride it out until the end of the year?
When you say the team, do you mean the club as a whole, or just
the club as a whole? Everyone, fans, team, front office, everybody.
Because those are two very different questions. As a club, I think the best thing we can do is try to reharmonize and get on the same page. I like it. The whole live chat's like, yeah, Ed, ask fucking questions, bitch. But I think the main thing is we need to all get on the same page and get back to supporting and get back to the thing that we do. AEG has seemingly vowed to be getting back to what they at least used to tell us that we do, which is, as the banner said in 2012 MLS Cup, we win things, we win trophies, we compete for things. If AEG is saying that, hey, that's what we're getting back to, we're getting back to competing for things, we're getting back to fighting for things, then I think it's on the fans. Then the onus then shifts to the fans of saying, all right, well, we'll show you what we do. We travel well. We're the first MLS club rather in history to have representatives travel to every away game, because people don't do that. But Galaxy fans do that. Like, I think we get back to that. We get back to genuinely supporting them everywhere. I got East Coast on lock. So if you want to come see Chris Tucker, come visit an away East Coast team. I'll be in Raleigh for at least another year. So
What's the closest to you, Cincinnati or what?
Atlanta.
Atlanta. Okay.
Oh well, Charlotte. Obviously, Charlotte's the closest.
Oh yeah, that's right. That makes sense. Yeah.
After Charlotte, I think it's Atlanta. But here, mostly, I would have like Atlanta, Charlotte, the Florida teams. I know I'm missing someone. DC United's not that far. New York's presumably not that far, but I have no interest in going to New York. Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of away trips out here, and I would love to hit them all because I don't really travel anymore. So I'll do all those away trips.
Speaking of away games, let's talk real quick. We won't get too deep dive into it. But RSL, if you guys are listening to this, you're probably listening to this on Wednesday. There's a game against RSL
tonight.
The first of 2 games in a week. I know we're, who knows how the team responds. What do you think they respond to this news of Klein being let go?
I would hope they don't care. Like it should be. If they're think about Kobe Bryant. If you tell Kobe Bryant some front office executive got fired, and then he had to go out and play a game, Kobe would still be lethal.
Who cares?
Still be. I don't give a fuck about him. Like
yeah.
And he posts up like, yeah, you didn't care about them. That's where you would want your athlete's mentality to be going into this back-to-back game against RSL. I would hope they don't care. I would hope it's above them, and I would hope Greg's like, look, next game, fans should be back. If you guys want something to do, positively affect your club, like every player that's on social media, go tell them you're going to be there against SKC, and tell them that, hey, I'll see you on, what is it, on Wednesday? I'll see you on Wednesday. I would hope they don't give a shit. I would hope they're just focused on winning and trying to put themselves in the best position to catch up, especially against the Western Conference.
Do you feel like what were your preferences if they fielded the B team tomorrow or Wednesday?
We gotta go for the cup
or the Open Cup.
Whole thing's the cup. Yeah.
Rest of the season
right now, right? Season essentially doesn't really matter. We're not realistically going to compete for anything. We can't make additions to fix the holes in our squad, so we're kind of done with what we have. Looking at it from that perspective, I would hope to see a heavily rotated team against RSL. Downside is we're almost certainly going to play Chicharito in the Open Cup match since he's going to be rested against this league match against RSL because of the red card. So that's certainly a hindrance. But yeah, for my money, you rotate the squad out, especially how many games they play. Rotate the squad out. You take an MLS beating you're likely going to take anyway, and then pray RSL puts out another group of 17-year-olds to try to roll into and to get to a semifinal of the Open Cup. I think 2 games away from the top.
So I'm going to kind of roll these two together. One is from Antonio at UC_Raider. He's asking, is winning the Open Cup all that Vanny needs to save his job? And then also Jan Lopez is basically asking, what does Vanny need to save his job?
To save his job, if he needs a moderately successful 2024 season. I don't think there's anything that's going to happen this year that's going to cause Vanny to lose his job. I don't. So
he's kept on, you think?
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, the guy's sporting director right now. Like, if you fire him, so you say you're firing Vanny, and you've already fired Klein, and you're likely to follow Croft. So Will Kuntz and Michael Stevens are running the organization in an interim basis. Like, you're probably not firing Greg. Greg is the single most important.
One you definitely trust of the other, but yeah.
But it's more to say, like, there's nobody else. Like, Greg is essentially the most important person in the organization. You fire Klein because you believe, from a fan perspective, you would be firing Klein because you believe the problems of the current LA Galaxy team can be laid at the feet of the president and his failed overarching vision. So if his overarching vision is the reason for failure, you wouldn't fire the coach who's been negatively affected. Vanny's in his 3rd season, hasn't managed to sign a single, notable designated player. He had to sign a young DP to fill out the Julian and Dejan and Efrain Alvarez slots. So you end up with a Cabral. You get Costa, who is probably, let's be honest, probably across the, what do I call it? Creative maneuvering of contracts. Costa's probably, a Karofsky move. And then Chicharito, who's, with all due respect to him, fucking reeks of Chris Klein. So you're kind of trapped in that gate, in that vein. I'd like to see Greg get the 2024 winter transfer window where we're going to have at least 2 designated players, 3 if Ricky decides he's done with the project and wants to move on. And then from there, if we have even a slow start to 2024, I think they end up walking. But you're not firing Greg. It would leave massive holes in the current FO structure.
All right, before we get back to the Arsenal game a little bit, what's your prediction for Wednesday night's game?
I would have had a loss, to be honest with you, coming in. I probably still have a loss, but I think in general the attitude would be a little better. 2-0 seems the most reasonable. We're seemingly incapable of scoring more than 1 goal. And Dejan has struggled to really connect with the creators in the midfield over the last couple games. And since we know Chicharito's out, we know Dejan's back. But the one prediction I have that I'm praying happens is that Preston Judd is on the bench because I don't know what's happened in that scenario, and hopefully he gets some minutes in this match.
So you said 2-0 loss.
2-0.
That's fair. I mean, asking for anything other than 1 goal from our team is,
pretty big mistake.
Yeah, because also, I mean, they've only scored 1 goal away this whole entire year, so asking for double digits would, asking for them to double their goal total.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if that happens. I'm still not too positive. I mean, Klein's gone, but again, it doesn't change the fact that your team isn't very good.
Zero things have changed on the field.
So I'm gonna say 3-1 loss. I'll say that goal comes from let's give it to Dejan. Dejan needs one. Let's give it to him.
Yeah.
Look,
we are potentially in
our top goal scorer at two goals.
Dejan, no, there's no way in the world. I gotta check. Is Dejan really our top goal scorer?
I think he has 2 goals. I think he's our top goal scorer. God. I'm pretty sure. Someone in the chat, confirm that or not. But yeah, I'm pretty sure. Or someone has 2, and then that's our goal scorer.
But then Leardom got back-to-back like months ago. But I don't know. I hope that's not true. I don't know. There's a time I would have known it, but I definitely I'm much too busy to know it now.
If only we could go to like LAGalaxy.com and like look up their stats real quick.
And I heard the guy who takes care of that may not be there.
May not be there anymore. That is true too. Oh yeah, see, Big Tony says it's true.
Makes me such a spiteful fuck. The level of look, let me handle this professionally. Sorry. Stop there, rewind this. The rumor is Galaxy social media director Adam Serrano was also let go today. And
when they put his job posting up, I mean, it's kind of
look, given
look.
Come on. Besides that, it's never great that someone loses their job, regardless of what one may think about the role that they served. But I'm interested in the new direction. Obviously, the Galaxy hired someone above Toronto a month or so ago. I'm interested to see the direction that we move from here, and hopefully, if the new guy is listening, hopefully at some point, this is just personal. Hopefully, at some point, we can see either the parents or grandparents of just one of your Black players. It'd be nice to know that we also come from humans. And it's not just our immediate family. If we get shown at all, if we can be profiled outside of the month of February, and not exactly on Juneteenth, that would be nice.
Damn it! I was gonna make a joke and you ruined it.
Yeah, I gotta take. Yeah, I gotta take it so you don't get jumped. Those are just things that I've noticed over the years. I mean, at one point, like that's essentially the end of Efrain Alvarez, isn't it? Like his personal social media team got walked today. It's it might be it. Probably it anyway.
I mean, he kind of killed that on his own, but we'll let that be.
But he did start it on his own, did he? He started it with just a Scotia help. People list good help.
All right, man. Anything else before we get out of here? Any final thoughts? Any final words about what's happened today?
Yeah, really quick. Like, all joking aside, even with Adam, like, it sucks to see somebody lose a job. It's terrible. I didn't expect Serrano to get walked at all. Even with Klein, like, we have frequently said, like, hey, move him into AG. Like, I don't want to see a man, especially a man with kids, like, you don't want to see them go without a job. You know, you don't want to see them go without security. Klein's going to be okay. Serrano will probably end up okay. Like, he'll probably end up writing for someone else, or doing some sort of social. Like, he's been on the social media team for what, almost 10 years. Like, he'll be okay. But you never really want to see anyone lose their job. But at the end of the day,
I mean, and to be fair, we don't know that he's not getting another job with an AEG. He just not with
Klein.
Yeah.
Yeah, he probably will.
Yeah.
Yeah, he probably will. But you never really want to see anyone properly lose their job. You'd like to see them stop actively hurting this thing that they've asked you to care about. And that's the problem that I thought they, at the end, not him, not Adam much, but certainly Chris and the people at the hierarchy of the Galaxy, they seem to fail to understand that they had asked people to invest emotionally when what they wanted to be held accountable for was just what you spent your money on. But soccer or football or futsal or whatever you want to call it, Calcio, it invokes an emotion in people, and it invokes a level of, especially with supporters, it invokes a level of tribalism in people. And you are a steward of this thing, this very important thing that we can't physically grasp. It's just our love for our club. You asked us, you begged us to love this thing. And then when we loved it properly, you didn't like the way we went about it. And then you started getting snippy with people, and you just, it didn't work the way you wanted it to. And it doesn't mean you're bad. It doesn't mean they're bad. It means that they looked at it a certain way. And that way is contrary to the way that, and I can only speak for me, it's contrary to the way that I look. So it's not like we went on a campaign to get these people fired. We went on a campaign to get one of them fired.
Yeah.
But it's, I mix Serrano in when it helps my argument. But it's not like I never went on a campaign to get Serrano. I thought he should lose that job. I thought he was not the best person for the job. But the reason I want Klein out is because someone like Serrano can sit in that job for years. Because you're not watching what they're doing, or you approve of that. You approve of what I call ethnic baiting. Like, not being able to move past these old archaic ways of thinking is the reason you're hurting our organization, and you hurting our organization is the reason we want you. It's a shame Beckerman couldn't do it earlier. It's a shame Beckerman didn't do it when Klein's contract ran out and instead re-upped him. Hey, that's the way it is. I wish them both the best. I hope they both land on their feet, and I hope they both find a job that is promising and fulfilling, and they are excellent in it and they love it. But I'm also really, really fucking glad they're getting away from my team.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Klein's fine. He has years of experience as a VP, so
he's already on way more fine. He's going to be way more fine than you.
He's already on councils and whatever for World Cups and all that stuff. So yeah, he'll be all right.
Yeah, he'll be all right. He just he clearly wanted to be the head of a program, and he's probably never going to get that again. And he has to understand.
There's always U.S. Soccer, man. They always make funny decisions that way too. So we'll see.
Hey, it won't be my team.
Yeah, there you go. On that note, Chris, anything before we get out of here, man?
No, sir. I'm all good. I'm going to bed.
Well, I want to say thank you guys, everyone who joined us in our live chat. We appreciate you guys. If you want to go over and like our social media, it's at Squadcast96. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter. Make sure if you're here, subscribe. If you're not already subscribed to the YouTube channel, turn on the notifications. We're gonna try to make this live thing more regular. I like interacting with you guys on the chat. So thank you guys for showing up. Christopher, appreciate you, sir.
Yeah, if you guys can share this episode too, that'd be pretty dope.
Yeah, well,
I
it'll
imagine
be
it's gonna do
it
pretty
should
well.
get posted up later tonight, and if you see it tomorrow, just go ahead and Twitter links that share, and you'll be all right. You'll be all right.
All right, man.
All right, Tucker. I will see you next week, sir.
Yeah, sounds good, man. Be well.
All right. Be well. Bye.